In Vlog 2, we will be analysing two key physical qualities that are performed in many individual and team-based sports, namely speed and agility. My two athletes chosen to take part throughout this video are from a Gaelic football background. Given their positional playing demands, this video will primarily focus on acceleration and the change of direction 90-degree cut. In the first video, from the side view, athlete 1 initiates his start position by displaying a kyphotic posture which is compensating him to stay low and therefore allowing him to perform a forward lean before he accelerates. Upon initial toe off, he doesn't quite achieve full triple extension of the back leg, leading into his first step, as well as his front foot being ahead of his centre of mass. This will indicate two things. One, his front foot is out to stop him from falling over. Two, because he is not directing his force application horizontally, his body will start to lift upright after the first couple of steps. In acceleration, the smaller touchdown distance the athlete displays in relation to the distance between his centre of mass and the fifth metatarsal of the foot, the more effective the acceleration phase will be in reducing horizontal breaking ground reaction forces, but also reducing contact time. Small touchdown distance is noticeable with his first step. However, that distance between the athlete's centre of mass and his foot begin to increase with each further step. This would be expected when you are transitioning into a more vertical position in max velocity running. Because the goal of initial acceleration is to produce massive amounts of force in a horizontal direction, cueing the athlete to push behind him and his centre of mass will create a better positive touchdown distance and forward propulsion. When viewing this athlete from a frontal position, when accelerating, his limitations, in which I feel is a capacity related issue, become more apparent. Lack of control in the lumbopelvic region causes the athlete to leak energy and prevents him from effectively executing horizontal force and propulsion over the first few steps. It is clearly evident that the athlete tries to stay low for as long as possible by keeping the head down, as well as aggressively moving the arms. However, with this lack of spinal rigidity and trunk control, the athlete starts to show signs of swaying of the shoulders, as well as his knees collapsing inward towards his midline. From these videos, I got the athlete to perform a number of corrective exercises that will hopefully improve his initial acceleration afterwards. Here the athlete can be seen to perform an A-march. When assessing the athlete through the A-march exercise, he displays good range of hip flexion when bringing the knee upwards. However, his knee did go slightly inward towards his midline at the end of the march, and did show slight inversion of the foot on the second step. This could be possibly due to balance issues or with the type of footwear that he's wearing. However, for the purpose of this video, we will look to provide corrective exercises to help improve spinal rigidity and lumbopelvic control in order to help him move into better shapes and therefore move efficiently whilst accelerating. Here I got the athlete to perform an overhead dial march on the spot. This will enable him to better stabilise his trunk whilst flexing the hip and knee. Once competent with that overhead dial march, he can then be progressed onto further running techniques such as the moving A march, A skip, B march and B skip. In this video, I got him to perform an iso sprint hold. Not only will this help the athlete to stabilise the trunk and improve postural rigidity, but also help improve the force production needed for acceleration during its initial stages. Finally, in the last corrective video, we got the athlete to perform a banded wall drill with the intended focus to maintain a good solid power line before explosively driving his knee upwards. With this, and by maintaining good limb alignment, he will hopefully then keep the knee away from the midline. This type of knee drive velocity will be effective in the latter stages of acceleration. Other potential exercises that could be possibly used could be banded dead bugs, wall drill holds, banded pull-off presses, or other anti-rotational exercises. Here we have our second athlete performing the acceleration phase within a 10-metre sprint. From the outset, it is clear that he is able to achieve really good triple extension from the back leg in most of his steps moving forward shown in the picture. Throughout mid-swing, in the majority of the steps, the ankle crosses over the knee joint, and in the late swing, high knee positions are observed that can allow the athlete to perform rapid hip extensions into the ground that will enable good, quick rate of force development in preparation for the next swing phase. However, he is not able to hold a forward lean position for too long and begins to lift up straight away on initial toe off, getting closer to max velocity running after the first two steps. This athlete displays really sound running technique during the accelerating phase. However, the first couple of steps where he should be producing loads of horizontal force forward is not being utilised, indicating the skill issue of a forward lean from the sprint start. Some of the exercises that I prescribe to the athlete have included a static wall hold drills, 45-degree isometric sprint holds using the bar, heavy sled pushes, and banded forward lean marches that have shown to have a direct dynamic correspondence to the sprint start. This will hopefully allow him to lean into position and forcefully push behind his centre of mass, sharpen up his sprint start. As well as this, other specific accelerating drills such as the falling start and falling split start will allow him to achieve a more efficient forward lean. In the second part of this vlog, we will be focusing on agility. Agility is the ability to explosively brake, change direction and accelerate, or have the change of direction without the loss of any balance, strength, speed and body control. Throughout this analysis, we will be observing the 90-degree change of direction cut of the same two Gaelic football athletes from the videos previous. In the first video, we have two video panels showing both left and right 90-degree cuts from athlete 1. In the right video, when he begins to accelerate towards the yellow cone, he is able to lower his centre of mass quite well and load up the outside leg when decelerating and then re-accelerating off past the cone. However, that inside leg could possibly be a lot higher and have more intent to push off forwards in its desired direction. The fact the cone is there puts the athlete off a bit and therefore makes him brake a little earlier to avoid crashing into it. In the left video, the athlete starts to apply the brakes a lot earlier than in the right one. This may be due to a host of limiting factors such as his ability to decelerate effectively or not being able to achieve a lower centre of mass in order to get around the cone. As this is his first time performing the skill and because of the complexity of the change of direction cut, I have proposed many corrective exercises and regressions needed to be performed before the athlete can then successfully attempt this task, especially in relation to his inability to decelerate on his left side. Strengthening exercises such as Romanian deadlifts, loaded lateral lunges and lateral sled pulls should be chosen strategies to help improve the athlete's ability to cut. Along with this, the athlete should then be able to perform the movement a lot slower to get him used to performing the movement quite well, or he can perform another host of change of direction cuts such as 30 degrees or 45 degrees before attempting the 90. Alongside this, a range of shuffle drills in both lateral and frontal positions, cueing the athlete to adopt an athletic position as is deemed optimal for changing directions should also be chosen. In relation to a skill issue regarding the agility task, athlete 2 can be observed in both videos as having a decent body lean and posture when cutting at 90 degrees from the cone as he accelerates forward. As he cuts to the right side of him, it is identified that his left foot slips and puts the leg into a more flexed position to prevent him from falling. With this in mind, because the surface was slippy, the athlete needed to be able to perform the 90-degree cut with a lower centre of mass to not only prevent him from falling, but also to allow him to effectively push off from the inside of his outside foot with an extended leg to produce the necessary force needed to accelerate into the required position. Similar to the athlete 1, some of the corrective exercise strategies that can be used for this athlete can include low lateral shuffle drills, loaded banded shuffles, He can also perform the task a lot slower to allow him to get into the optimal position needed to re-accelerate it, as well as perform some rotational power movements performed using a med ball. Thanks for listening.